guess just you take over and then you get some bad luck kind of right out the bat. What was it like for you when just kind of your top players, right when you take over, kind of go down?
Well, yeah, it's always tough when you see your best players go through an injury like that that's or season ending. And so it was really disheartening for all of us when Kaylee went down, and it's hard to see her go through that. She'd worked really hard to get in shape and be ready for her senior season, and then as soon as we kind of accepted that, we're starting to move on, it was tough to see Alicia go down as well. And hers was a really tough one because her other knee had been bothering her as well, and she ended up having a double knee surgery when she got hers cleaned up. And then Mekayla and the broken noses and all along. So it just got to the point where you really did realize that you can't control the injuries, and you just have to do the best with what you have at practice every day and make adjustments. And it's been a learning experience for me as far as having to shuffle kids around and move kids into different positions, and just know that at any point in time everything can change.
Yeah, a lot of times you hear coaches say kind of next person up, and it's kind of just the mantra, and you kind of try not to think about it. But when they kind of stack up like that, does it come to a point where you're kind of just like, well, we're kind of just dealt the cards that we have now?
Exactly. And ironically, they were all kind of the same position, which made it really difficult, because then we were hoping to be able to redshirt quite a few of the freshmen. We had a big freshman class to begin with, and we were really hoping on redshirting some of those kids, and we just aren't able to because they were thrown into the situation, and they're making the most of it and getting great minutes and great experience. But it was definitely not in the cards when I signed up for the job. I wasn't thinking that it was going to be like this year, but all the coaches around the league have shared with me, and they just say, oh, we've never seen anything like this. Just keep going and keep working, and your girls are playing hard, and that's all we can ask.
It does seem like, despite the record and all the injuries, that there's a lot of positive, atmosphere around the team still, and you guys aren't kind of down in the dumps feeling sorry for yourselves. So what has that been like? How do you kind of get the girls to feel that way? Because it seems like that's how they're feeling. They're still optimistic.
Yeah, they've really been working hard and keeping their chins up, and we keep telling them it's not so much about the wins and losses right now. It's about getting better every day, making big strides, learning how to compete. It's an interesting thing for when you look out there some nights and you have 4 freshmen on the floor, and to play at the competitive level that they need to for college basketball. It's a big adjustment from high school. And so that's been a big emphasis, just trying to get these kids to learn how hard they have to play all the time. You can't take plays off. You've got to be just continually competing, thinking as you're playing. A lot of new things for all those young kids, and I'm very proud of the way they've been responding.
Maybe a positive with all the injuries is they all are getting all this playing time and experience. So how much do you think down the road might be kind of rough travels now, but maybe down the road this is going to help, and you could be it could be lights out down the road.
Yeah, it's exciting to think about the future, and this year of course. But when you start thinking about possibly getting Kaylee back and possibly getting Alicia back next season, and then adding all these, sprinkling in some of these kids, and then allowing some of these kids who needed a redshirt this year to get a chance to redshirt, it could be a really incredible team next year. So there's light at the end of the tunnel. We all, like Mekayla was saying, we all just keep reminding ourselves it's about a day-to-day process of getting better every day, and hopefully as the season goes and the future for Lady Grizz will be bright.
Yeah, so that was my last one. So is that the message, like just kind of day-to-day get better? Like what's the message going forward, that you want to really instill in the players throughout the rest of the year?
Well, I think we just can't get caught up on records, and we can't get caught up on wins and losses. I think we are improving. Like I said, every game we're getting more and more competitive to where we're seeing different things, we're experiencing different things. We got to play in front of a great crowd at North Dakota. They draw really well. I thought our girls responded great to that. They love the environment. And I think that as the season moves forward, we just need to be having kids keep taking steps towards being better, and I think that's happening. And come March, hopefully we'll be playing our best basketball. And I think with a young group like this, I keep telling them, of all the teams out there, we have the most room to improve because we are so young and so inexperienced. So,
and then just looking forward to this weekend. Portland State and Sac State come to town, and I know if any Lady Grizz fans out there ever come for a Sac State game, it's entertaining. They like to run up and down, try to score 100 points. And so, what do you always expect it in a game like that, and how kind of up and down and wild that can be?
It's 40 minutes of pure chaos. It really is. I mean, I always tell people when our fans will always go, "We love coming to the Sac State game." We're like, we hate it. They're just hard to guard. You can't really prepare for it. You can't really simulate it in practice unless you put like 9 people out there and just have them trap and chase and trap and chase. And it's hard to ever run any kind of offense. So it's going to be a track meet, like Mekayla said, and lots of turnovers, lots of three-pointers. Hopefully not a lot by them, but they create a tempo like no other. And so we'll see how this young team does. Yeah.
All right, Coach. Thanks for joining us. We'll be with you next week, and we'll join junior Mekayla Isaak coming up after the break. Hi, I feel to be back. You missed over a month with a broken hand, and how does it feel just to get back out on the court?
I actually didn't think it was going to be as hard as it has been coming back, getting used to playing with a splint on and getting my wind back. It's been really challenging, but I'm really excited that I don't have to sit on the bench anymore and I get to put my jersey back on, and so it's been really nice.
It's been kind of the theme this year, injuries.
Unfortunately.
What was it like for you, after the 2 injuries to Kaylee and Alicia, for you to get hurt? Are you just going like, what did we do to upset the injury gods here?
I did. I honestly was just like, gosh, Shannon's first year of coaching, what else could go wrong, we didn't want to ask that question, but then, Emma broke her nose, and then Sierra broke her nose, and we were just like, gosh, okay, that's it. We're done with injuries. We can't do this anymore.
What's that like, just overall, for the team and the players when all that happens? What's kind of the mentality that what do you guys think of?
We try really hard to stay positive and carry ourselves, because there's really nothing we can do about it. So we try to rise to the occasion, and we are young, but Shannon's right. After how many practices we had and games we've had, there's just really no excuse anymore to play the way we're playing. We at some point just need to step it up and be accountable.
What's it like being now one of the few just upperclassmen and one of the few players that has any experience, and having to kind of step into that leadership role, especially with Kaylee and Alicia out?
I really like it, but it is difficult at times because the freshmen, I have to constantly remind myself that they're freshmen, and that I was there at one point too where I was confused and I wasn't running the plays right, and I was just all over the place, and so I have to really remember to not get on them and be tough and just make sure I'm building them up instead of tearing them down.
And then you go on the road, one of the toughest travels of the season, and you play really well against a tough North Dakota team, come up a little bit short. But did you guys take anything away from that game? Maybe a little bit of confidence moving forward.
We did. We actually had a really good team talk the night before about how we just need to mentally stay focused and how we need to be disciplined and do the little things. I feel like so many times in games we're always just focusing on scoring, but we're not focusing on sprinting the floor hard and running through our cuts and waiting for the screens, and that was a huge point of emphasis going in before that game. The coaches did their pregame talk, and then afterwards, me and Kaylee and Rachel, we sat everyone down. We were like, okay, look, just focus on the little things, just do your part, and the scoring's going to happen. And then we had Madison Schoening. She just went off, and she was really aggressive, and so it was really nice to see us get into a game where we were only down by 2 at half, and so it was nice.
And then last for you, you get to come home, finally after that long road trip, but you're playing a couple tough teams, and in particular one of those is Sac State, who likes to do line changes and run the floor. So what do you expect this weekend at home?
I'm expecting a track meet. I'm expecting a lot of sprinting, a lot of trapping, and a lot of three-pointers.
Perfect. Well, Mekayla, thanks for joining us on the Grizzly Sports Report, and we'll be back right after this. What animal would you be?
A grizzly bear.
Grizzly, of course. What about any superpower?
I'd probably be invisible. I would love to be invisible.
Yeah, that's a good one. What's maybe one thing that you're bad at that you wish you were good at?
Free throws.
If you had to model your game after anyone, who do you kind of look to? Good answer. The last word, if you were going to be the spokesperson for any company, what company are you going to be the spokesperson for?
A spokesperson? Oh, that's a tough one. Michael Kors.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you.